Okay, we're going to be talking about the concept of sprites. And this is our sample page here where we are putting all of our graphics to demonstrate how we can do graphics. And the buttons. The buttons have several different states. They have the normal state, the hover state, the active state, and one we don't see is the visited. So it's got 4 different states for every button. As far as a background graphic, the title of the button is a browser text. So going into our Photoshop, this is what these pieces look like. This is how they were delivered to the web page as one strip. Every state had its own piece, and they are built on a 150 grid here, so that each piece is 150, which makes it very simple then to place your first graphic into the background image of your anchor tag in that unordered list, and you use background position 0, 0, and then you can just copy that arrangement, and for your hover state it's the same thing, except you move the graphic 150 pixels to the left, and so you give that one an X value of minus 150, and then the active state is a minus 300 because it moves 250 chunks over, and finally the visited has a minus 450. So very simple math. Getting there is a little trickier. I started out by bringing in the big horseshoe image I was going to use. I put a point of rotation dot in here just for my own use. And this is how when I rotated each one of the horseshoe states, I used this dot and rotated it around, put them on the same place. And what I actually did was I shrunk this down and then put the dot right here on these 150 axes. This is a 150 pixel grid, but this horseshoe is really huge. So when I shrunk it down to fit inside this 150, then I moved the set of the 4 different twisted horseshoes onto these, saved those, and then I could go back and take them as a unit and fit them back into the 0, 0 position of the reduced size page. And if I turn these layers off here, you can see these are the back, or the horseshoes. This is the color of the horseshoes. So I've got the horseshoes on a transparent layer, the texture of them that sits over the top of the colored layers. This is what I had to start with. I brought them in. This is an alpha channel of all the horseshoes with their detail on them. This is a alpha channel of the horseshoes, just the pure shape. This is what I used to drop the color into them. Okay, so a little background here. Back to the layers. So these all are on a 150 grid. They all move over 150 for each state. And then I built the backgrounds. And so each background, I just duplicated those, and each time I duplicated a layer, I just used the layer move tool, used my shift with the cursor key, which moves it 10 pixels at a time, and hit 15 clicks and moved them right into position. And that's how I built this sprite. And then the sprite goes in. It's really a big trend these days. The big sites like Amazon and Google and those guys are all building all of their graphics for the navigations and little menu parts and things as a sprite sheet, and they stick everything they need onto a sprite sheet, and that way they can bring in one graphic, one HTTP request for the whole page, or for the whole site actually, and get that over with, and then the page just slides around and shows different parts of itself within different boxes, within different CSS elements, and it's all done with position. And there's no calling for a new image or anything. It just changes position, and the image displays in a different place, and it's really cool. So that's how you do this.